Okay. Hello. Hi.
Yes, yes,
Hi, Helen.
yes. Actually, since before the beginning, I made the pilot film in November before we went on the air, so it's a long history.
Long road.
True. Though it's Lily's character is a case in point because she never would have lived the life she did. She has back in the 1956. She would have been
Burned
ever
at
so
the
much
stake.
more protected.
Yes. Well, he's back for the 10,000th episode. He's back for 2 weeks, and just in time for me to go into labor. So, well, we hope he comes back. I hope he comes back in September. That was the idea. We'll see what happens. I guess depending on whose fan you are, Damien or Holden. I guess you want him to come back or you don't want him to come back. But he is there for the baby birth. Watch the show tomorrow. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Wow, that was quick. That was very quick. This is live too?
What is that mix that almost put us out?
They were playing a clip from the show, and she was talking over the clip.
Right.
They made a mistake.
This is live too, I imagine.
Yes.
Yep.
The next 3 are live. This one is
Okay.
more.
Good
Good afternoon,
afternoon.
Sam, Leslie.
How are you? Good. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Well, I think the biggest change has been going from live to tape. That was in 1976 when we went to tape. It's an exciting thing on tape. We can do lots more different episodes, but I think there's an immediacy to the live that I would like to see going on again. So it's a balance.
I think we deal with human issues, human behavior, relationships. I think that's why the show is so successful. Love relationships, triangles, emotional issues that people can relate to, and we come into their living room every day for an hour, and they can escape for an hour with their own problems and see how Lily deals with her own. And Lily does come through and turns out okay after all of that. So I think that's why it's so popular. have some flashbacks of when I started on the show in 1985, and I know my mom, who plays Lucinda, one of my mothers anyway, my adopted mother, has a flashback of us in 1985 when we're working out in our workout clothes, and she has a nice memory of that, and I think it's pretty interesting to watch. And throughout the whole show, there are many flashbacks.
Various people, yes, going back to the early days when it was black and white even, there are some of those, some flashbacks clear back to that era.
And Holden comes back, Snyder, my ex-husband, who has come back from the memory hospital with some memories of his own, so it's interesting.
One show at a time. That's it.
Yes.
Yes.
Say. Thank you,
Thank
too.
you.
You too.
Bye.
You. UOV?
WYOU.
WYOU. How long were you on here? Do we know? No, we don't know.
About a minute, they'll come to us in minutes. About 3 minutes, they'll
Okay.
get that long. Just say a few words of doing a mic check.
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Which kind of
7,
words do you
8,
want to
9.
hear?
Yeah, really.
From whom? All of us, or they were just...
I think you pointed to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Hi,
Good
Penny.
afternoon.
How are you? Yes, many flashbacks. I know Lucinda, the character of Lucinda, has a flashback of the two of us together working out in her bathroom from 1985, and it's a real touching scene. And throughout the whole episode, there'll be many flashbacks of old episodes.
There's one thing that the people won't know unless they're told, and that is that the show starts with the same line I used for the first show, which was "Good morning, dear," which I said to Chris. But it's worked into this particular script. That's the way this script opens, too.
Little surprises.
Yeah. Oh, I think this has been very, very good training for anybody, particularly someone who wants to do any kind of movie work. This is a great training ground because you have to make something out of a script that can't be rewritten as very carefully as you would want to do for a movie or for the stage because it goes so quickly. And there are 5 shows a week, 52 weeks out of the year. It can't be that carefully done, so you have to make a lot out of what you're given.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Oh, no.
Definitely.
It's very professional, but it's a very close and friendly relationship. You work too closely not to be able to be friends.
I mean, you're married to these people. You have a marriage. I'm married. You know, I see my husband on television more than I see my own husband because we work so much and we work so closely together. So we better like each other, which we do very much. So that helps. We're all friends. You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Watch the show.
Well,
We
that's
give them
right.
a good show. We give them entertainment. We give them realistic relationships and heartache, but we always come out of the heartache and become better people for it. And I think we give people inspiration because their lives couldn't be anywhere near as difficult as Lily's or Damien's or Holden's or whoever. And I think they can kind of escape for an hour and experience our traumas and feel like their life isn't so bad and root for us to get ahead.
Don't.
That's why I was just going to
Unless
difficult.
this is the only thing you can possibly be happy doing, don't even try.
There's so much
It's
competition.
very, very difficult. There is, as Martha said, there's so much competition, and you can't be sure of. For instance, my husband, who has been in show business longer than I have, always said it's 13 weeks to 13 weeks. That's all your contract really guarantees you. So just be ready to make a change.
Yeah,
And that's
don't buy
why
any
this,
property, you said.
Yep, don't buy any property. But that's why this 39 years is unbelievable in this business.
Sure is. May I have your luck? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
But look at Hawaii. The natives
Right.
in Hawaii never built on the shore. They built way back up in the woods, and
Right.
they would go down and have their picnic.
Because they knew that eventually.
Yes, they said, what are those white people doing down there building houses? They're nuts. And sure enough, the
gone.
tsunami comes along, and out they go.
Yeah.
It was like in Seattle, too. The original city of Seattle was built right down by the water.
Yeah.
And the Indians, they were crazy. Because eventually they had a storm and it wiped the whole settlement.
Yeah.
So they had to go build up on it.
Yeah.
Cedar Rapids? Okay. Newsies?
This would be a really good exercise right here. Dance around.
Aerobics, yeah.
Aerobics.
I did mine before I came here.
Oh, good for you. God bless you.
30 seconds.
It's
Hi.
a pleasure.
Our pleasure.
Since November 1955, I made the pilot film. So, yes. So, and we opened the pilot film, and we opened the first show with the same opening that we're using for tomorrow's script. But it's adapted to the situation for the story tomorrow. Whereas in the pilot film and the first script, it was just, good morning, dear, and Nancy and Chris got out of bed and started the day. No, because that was not, that didn't last. See, you didn't have tape then, didn't even have really had kinescopes that lasted then. We had to have hot kinescopes finally in 1958 when we could rebroadcast, but otherwise we had to go live coast to coast because there was no no kind of reproduction that could be immediately presented to the public. Flashbacks and
I have two, actually. I have one with Holden from 1986 and one with Elizabeth Hubbard, who plays Lucinda, from 85, where we're in some... just watch. It's very interesting. The outfits are interesting. Liz Hubbard came over to me, plays Lucinda. She said, "You look very young." You look better than I. And, you know, so it's I think it's very interesting. If the audience gets as much pleasure out of this episode as I've gotten, I think it'd be great. It's split, I have to say. For the first time in the history of this show that I've playing Lily, I've never seen an audience so split. I do get a lot of mail who love Lily with Damien because it's a very different relationship than she has with Holden. But I don't think that we've explored Lily and Holden together since I've come back on the show in a true light yet. We haven't had the opportunity yet. So down the road, maybe if he comes back, which he's going to come back tomorrow for the 10,000th episode, and he'll be back for 2 weeks.
Lack of memory doesn't help.
That lack of memory doesn't help, but he's still cute.
The relationship.
I can help him with that. Not bad, not bad. And I got a cute one at home, too.
It's a good show. It's a happy show. It's something that if you have a part in which you continue, then it's dependable. And as Martha says, this is one of the things that she liked about coming back to the show, because she could get married and maybe have a family
You'd
herself.
have a family, yes, in my own life, because you have the schedule is pretty set, and you get to do great work, and you're respected by your peers, and you treat each other with respect. So, what more do you want? There's nothing more out there. Definitely.
I think it ought to go
Go back
more in that
more.
direction.
I'm trying. I'm trying. It's hard to do that with such trauma.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Hello, Melissa.
Rather
No?
unusual.
Yeah, unusual. Hello. Nope, back off.
big on somebody's desk in there. Is that a miniature?
That's a problem. Yeah. They do comedy shows in here too. You're on the show right now.
That's right.
Having to do with memories and flashbacks of years gone by, and special memories for the audience, I think, as well.
Well, it's the 10,000th script on the show. It's my 10,000th script because I did the pilot film. So I got a run-up on it, and having had that run-up on it, I stayed for a long time just because I liked it. No, but then on the other hand, what is for 39 years actually? What it's like the national debt. What does it mean?
Yes.
In a way, yes, there are flashbacks, but we go on with the storyline. But we move in these flashbacks as points of interest in the storyline
Right.
as it progresses.
And develop the see
Yeah.
the relationships between the characters, and like Lucinda and Lily together have a flashback together, and I have a flashback by myself of Holden from the early days, and I think it's going to be pleasing to the audience, I think. The relationships between the people, the characters.
Well-told stories.
Well-told stories, romance, intrigue.
With people that you can care about.
And fight for. You
Yeah.
know, I think that the audience always wants to get to that end result and is fighting for those two people to get back together or break up, or and then once you do, they need something else to stimulate them. So there's endless possibilities for the show, and I think we can go another 39 years.
Well, particularly since I think they're people that you care about. You learn to care about these people, and that's the important thing.
And relate to them as well.
Yeah.
I think it's tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow's I think Friday, so 10,000th episode. Good. Take care. sure this is Tulsa now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Atlanta. Yeah. Bum, 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 bum. Hi. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Perfectly. Okay. Thank you. That was nice. That helps. Hello. Hi,
Hello,
y'all.
Rick.
How are you? Good. Big.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It's too hard work. If you don't like it, get out.
That's true. That's true. A lot of time and effort and hours and pleasure and
A lot of nice people.
yes.
Some memories.
Flashback.
It's worked into the script, progressing the storylines as they are now, but they're worked in so that those of you who have watched the show for a length of time will say, oh, I remember that. But
Right.
it isn't just a memory lane thing. We do progress.
We do, and I think people will see a number of flashbacks, and if they get as much pleasure out of them as I have watching them in the past couple of weeks trying to pick some out to use, I think it'll be worth taping it. Put your VCR on, for sure.
Very, 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 very infrequently, but if something really isn't Nancy, they're very good about letting me change it. But actors don't mess in with the writing. They write 8 weeks before we see the script, and if you had all the actors telling the writers what they should do for their particular characters, it'd be chaos and you'd never get it on the air.
That's true. Mm-hmm. I think it's going well. I think Lily's finally made the decision to stay with her third husband, but it's not easy to stay with him, I'll tell you that. I think it's progressing well. John Hensley, who plays Holden, is coming back for the 10,000th episode and for 2 weeks after that to deliver my baby. And I think it's going to be left with some wide open doors at the end of his stay. It's exciting. I think it's going to be very exciting, and I think the Holden Lily fans will be happy and get a little bit of information, and Damien Lily fans will get some tear-jerkers as well. So I think it's great.
That's hard to say. I think the hardest, the best thing I remember is scenes with Chris, but not a particular one. That was such a long-running relationship, and it was such a happy one that these are the things that occur to me first. And the way we're starting the show is with the same line that I used when we were doing the pilot film in November, and then we were doing the first show on the air in April of 1956. We're using that same line, "Good morning, dear," but adapting it to the situation. It's a neat little job, but I think it's the people that I remember as Nancy rather than particular stories.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Is only a test. This is a test of the emergency broadcast system. The broadcasters of your area, in voluntary cooperation with federal, state, and local authorities, have developed this system to keep you informed in the event of an emergency. If this had been an actual emergency, the attention signal you just heard would have been followed by official information, news, and instructions. This station serves the Denver area. This concludes this test of the emergency broadcast system.